today than we were going yesterday. Yesterday we tied jigs and some catfish rigs. Today we're tying a hybrid. And I think we're going to catch hybrids on it. That's not directly the intended species. I'll show you how the rig's going to work and all that jazz. Let's get some hooks out and get started. I'm very excited about these. What's up, Tennessee boy? Check this out. I know you probably watch Justin with Kayak Catfish, and they got some rigs that he catches, like 5 out of 7 fish he catches is on the stinger rig. So I am about to tie my own version of the stinger rig. I am tying some stinger rigs for catfish, hybrids, and stripers. It's essentially a bucktail on a J hook, but we're using it as a teaser on our bait. So we're gonna tie up some of those. We're gonna test them in Oklahoma waters. We've seen what they can do in Tennessee if you follow Kayak Catfish. And so we're gonna tie some and we're gonna put them to the test later this week. Actually, in like 2 or 3 more days. Friday or Saturday. But first, we gotta find the bucktail. It's been a while since I've played around with the bucktail. I've got some right here, some black and yellow. I want to get some different colors here. I like orange. So we might be here a while, guys, because I'm pretty stoked about this. We'll try some with white, and we may even give a few away. I don't really have that much yellow, but there's some yellow mixed with some brown, so we're gonna do that too. I have some pink. I definitely want to tie some pink ones. We have purple. This just may end up being a whole deal, guys. I'm trying to see what other colors I got. I got some more orange here, but I already got orange out. Yeah, so let's get busy cranking these suckers out. Yeah, he puts out good content. I'm trying to get there. I actually got the MacBook out. I actually got the DJI camera hooked to the MacBook. I'm gonna start editing my videos better, putting music at the beginning of my long form content. I used to do that, but then I stopped, but now I'm starting again, so there's that. We're gonna try it like that for a little bit. We're gonna start out with this pink one just because it was on the top. I'm pretty juiced about this idea. I am gonna add a twist to it, so that way it's not directly like I'm copying exactly what they're doing, but I'm kind of copying exactly what they're doing. But that's what jig tying is. Anybody that didn't invent the jig is more or less copying somebody. Then I'm gonna tie these up pretty tight and use quite a bit of thread on them because they're for catfish and hybrids and stripers, and they'll tear some stuff up. What I'm doing differently is they tie it right at the head, and that's it. I'm gonna add a little bit of body to mine just because I don't want it to be a direct copycat. And I'm gonna super glue these because, again, the big fish, I'm pretty excited about these. Freaking stoked. Might use a little too much super glue on that one. It's all right though. It'll dry. I'm gonna trim up these little hairs. Then we are going to add some chartreuse chenille to it, just some flat chenille. I don't want it to affect or get in the way of a hookup. I think Catfish Sumo, or the ones that Justin with Kayak Catfish uses, are called Bait Stalker or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll call mine Hog Seeker. I don't know. But we're gonna have to try them out. I'm definitely excited to try them out. Heck yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. I should be fishing. Right now we got low barometric pressure system coming through. But guys, I have been fishing so much lately, and I have videos backed up on my camera that are currently backing up to the computer, and I haven't even got started on editing them. I've got 2 catfishing videos, and they were literally from one day I was fishing for like 12 hours. One day I was fishing for like 10 hours. So there's a lot of fish in them. And I haven't even got started on editing them. And the weekend is already here, so I'm going to be right back out on the water. Hopefully same scenario. Loading up the boat on some fish. Hopefully I catch a bunch of them on these here jig things I'm tying. These bait stalkers or whatever. People already tie these, and so it's this bait stalker idea isn't directly a kayak catfish and catfish sumo idea. It's already used in ocean fishing. They're just employing it on freshwater fishing, and it's also already used for people use this setup on a 3-way rig, and they fish below dams for stripers and stuff. But as far as I know, I'm the only one adding chenille to the neck of the jig, or bucktail. And that's what they're called. They're called bucktails. Charles Phillips, I appreciate it. I'm grabbing the wrong lever there. Anyway, so that's what we got, guys. We're going to tie up a few of these, and then we're going to move on to another color. I actually need to adjust my lights, that way I can hang these from the lights, that way they can dry without getting super glue all everything. And the hooks we're using are just laser sharp 3/0 hooks, which I'm pretty sure is a common choice for this style of bucktail. A weightless bucktail. We might tie, yeah, we'll go for like 3 of each of these. That razor is sharp. We might even get a little black in this one, just see what happens. See what it looks like when we tie it up. We're gonna start going through some bucktail. I hope that this works as good in Oklahoma as it works in Tennessee. I am gonna be fishing it a little bit differently than Justin. The way that I've seen him fish it in his videos is suspend fishing. Well, here in Oklahoma, we have deep waters and stuff like that, but I mostly fish rivers with a lot of current. And so I am employing a new tactic. And we'll get into that this weekend. Let's get us a little bit of super glue on there. We're going to put a little bit less than we put on that first one because it's completely saturated. We'll just let that sit there and soak for a couple seconds. How's everybody's day been going? Yeah, it is a pretty vibrant pink, but I think it'll be all right. I'm going to save the pink ones. I don't know that I'm going to run those this weekend. The place I'm fishing this weekend is pretty muddy. So I'm thinking purple and pink. I'm going to run 2 rigs, just regular rigs. Then I'll probably run 2 with purple and 2 with orange. But I want to have these pinks too because I'm about to be going back to my home river. And the water clarity is a little bit better there. It's like going from chocolate milk to light tea, if that comparison makes any sense. What's up, Sean John? That's awesome, Tennessee boy. Yeah, my daughter, she started basketball camp this week. So she's been doing that every day. Yeah, it's good that you play sports, that's for sure. Let's see, I'm not very good at doing this. I've never really practiced that much. But I think we're gonna try to finish tying these with our hands, because tying them with this whip, let me get it up here where you guys can see. Tying it with this whip is a little bit tricky, not having a jig head to start from. Well, we can make it work. I just gotta pay attention a little bit better. Yeah, we'll keep running that. Now I'm gonna put a little dot of super glue on there again. Guys, I've never had problems. For sure, Charles Phillips. It takes a team, that is for sure. It takes a team. Right now, the coach that we have at my kid's school, the issue is what's up, Oliver? The deal is at my kid's school is that the coach likes to, like, okay, so they play like 4th and 5th grade play together, and then like maybe 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th, I don't know. Either way, so if you're a 4th grader and you play 4th and 5th, he'll play all of his 5th graders and run them into the ground and not play the 4th graders because they're not as old or not as tall. Well, it doesn't really make sense to do that at that age, and this is the reason why I feel like he should be playing the 4th graders at just as much, because what happens next year when they're 5th graders or 6th graders or whatever, and they didn't play all the last year, so now they have no experience of in the game, actual hands-on playing someone else. All they have is just practice experience. That doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't sit right with me, but weigh 162. I don't remember the last time I weighed 162. It seemed like I weighed 140 forever. And then one day, I got on the scales and I was about 14 and I weighed 180 pounds. And then, well, I've pretty much been 220 or 230 the rest of my life, so I couldn't tell you the last time I weighed 160. Or remember weighing 160. Yeah, so we'll probably tie 4 of these. I like to have an even number just because if they end up working really well, particularly well, if I get one hung up or whatever reason, I'd like to have backups. And since I'm going to be running 2 of each, or 2 different colors at the same time, I think having at least 4 of each one and maybe 6 or 8 of the orange ones. Yeah, probably more of the orange ones. Orange is the confidence color for me. Orange, black, and yellow. The closest I have to black with the bucktail, though, is purple, dark purple. So we're going to run it. Hey, guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We tie crappie jigs, catfish rigs. We tie all kinds of stuff, guys. We do drawings and giveaways sometimes. I just got some more envelopes in. I gotta still get some prizes out, guys, from the last drawing I did, which was like a week ago. But I just got these bubble wrap envelopes because I can't ship out, like I was mailing out one of these full of jigs or with 4 jigs in it. It's hard to mail that out with, it's hard to mail that out with a regular envelope, and so I had to change up the envelope style, and my wife found those for me on Amazon. Tomorrow's live is also going to be a little bit different. I want to I'm going to rig up my fishing poles. I ordered some new line, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen my other videos, but I got some Hellcat rods for Father's Day. I got them a little bit early. I'm lucky. And I got 2 new pin reels. But I'm feeling like my hookup ratio on these rods, I'm used to using Meat Hunter, which if you're not from Oklahoma or Arkansas or a neighboring state, there's a good possibility you've never even heard of a Meat Hunter fishing pole. It's put together in the USA, we'll just say that. They're really good. Yeah, I like them a lot. The Meat Hunters are not the Meat Hunter Flex rods. The Meat Hunter, the original ones, are freaking great. Love them a lot. But I made the switch to Hellcats. Nothing against Meat Hunter. I'm just want to try different rods, and so that's what I'm gonna do. But I feel like the hookup ratio the other day when I went fishing, which it's the videos I'm telling you guys I need to edit. They are I bought the heavies because I'm used to fishing with the Meat Hunters, which are kind of like a broomstick, but they bend so well throughout the whole rod. And I fish heavy current, and so for me the broomstick works well for me. And I can still feel the fight, because if you're fishing heavy current, even a small catfish will put up a good fight. So anyway, yeah, I missed some fish on the Hellcat right off the bat initially. I switched one of the rods over to, I put a different reel on it. I took my pin off of there, and I actually swapped it to a PC Funnel E-hose size 400 reel with braided line, and my hookup ratio increased. And so I'm feeling like that's all I need to do is just switch to braid, and then that more limber rod, there won't be no stretch, so it'll account for it. It'll be all right. And I really wanted the Hellcat rods because they glow under a black light. I have black lights. I've been running, when I do night videos or when I go night fishing, I had been running a Trilene big game fishing line because it's fluorescent color. But I'd rather have a rod that glows because it'll be so much cooler on the takedowns having the rod that's glowing versus fishing line that glows. So I bought some 100-pound test braided line. I'm still going to use 50-pound test leaders for my main leader. But the reason for the 100-pound test is I feel like if I bird nest with 100-pound test braided fishing line, I feel like I'll have a fighting chance at getting it. Yeah, everybody like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Anyways, I feel like I'll have a better hookup ratio with the Hellcat. And I feel like I will lose less fishing line that way. I'll be able to get the bird nests out, and I'll lose less fishing lines when I get caught up because I'll just lose it. The sinker will be above the swivel, and so it should break the leader, so I should only lose hooks, in theory. I am making my own bait right now. This is my own bait. What's my opinion on that? I don't know. I hear like some gang is taking over Tennessee. I feel like we shouldn't have gangs like taking over towns and cities and stuff like that. How do you feel about it? You've never heard of the Hellcat? Let me go grab one real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, let's talk about this. Let me turn off that light back there. And so there's the pin reel that I'm using. It's a pin warfare. I like the left-handed models. Most people probably like the right-handed models, but I use J-hooks, and so I set the hook, and I'm right-hand dominant. My left hand is dumb and can go in circles just fine. So I use my right hand to set the hook, so I pick left-handed fishing reels. This is the cover that it comes with. It's got like a topographic map of a lake. It's a pretty premium catfish rod. There's their like Catch the Fever insignia. And then it says, I don't know why it's backwards on the camera. Is that backwards for you guys? No. This is the Hellcat Revenge series. This is the handle. It's thick rubber, like it's real grippy. And the grip is also a topographical map of a lake or a river. And so I think that's pretty sick. Double locking nut on your reel seat. So that sucker, your reel ain't coming back off there. Like it, you know, you need pliers or something to get it off there. There's another Hellcat insignia. There's the handle. And then on this side, it's Catch the Fever. Catch the Fever makes Hellcat. I'm turning around so you guys can see that. It's pretty nice, guys. My wife and kids got me these, and I really like them. And I can't wait to put out a bunch more videos with them. I don't even know if I have a YouTube short out. I just got when I built the rod and I put the reel on it and stuff. I have that video out talking about the Hellcat rod. But I got lucky, guys. I didn't even have to wait for like shipping or nothing. And look at this with the hook keeper on there. Now, I'll tell you guys why I don't keep my hooks on the hook keeper, but I do like how it's doubled up, like it's twice as thick, and it's really rigid. I'll go over some more points and highlights of this catfish rod. The eyes are reinforced. You see that little piece that comes right there in line with the line? It's soldered to the bottom of this eye or welded. And so these eyes on this rod are super reinforced, guys. But now I'm going to tell you guys why I don't use the hook keeper. This is a good tip for you guys. I put it in the eye up here, facing downwards, because I like my sinker to ride right underneath my fishing reel. And the reason for that is if you put, and I'm just going to show you guys, but when you're cruising around with the rods in the back of your truck, or you put your rods in your rod rack on your boat, or whatever, and you got a sinker on your fishing pole, on your fishing line, and it doesn't matter if it's a 1 ounce sinker or a 5 ounce sinker, 8 ounce sinker, whatever. If that sinker, if you hook your hook in this hook keeper, you reel your line up, when you're driving on the lake or you're driving with your fishing poles in the back of your truck, this weight slaps your fishing pole and it chips up your finish. Yeah, I could bend the hooks, but this slapping the finish on my fishing pole, I don't like it. It slaps it and it puts chips in the finish, and then that'll create a weak spot, and when you set the hook, that's where your pole snap at. Now, your reel, it may wear on your finish on your fishing reel, but let's be honest, at the end of the day, I'm a cat fisherman, and this ain't no glory show. I just don't want my freaking rod getting beat up and getting a weak spot in the blank. And if you hook, I'll show you how I hook this hook in the eyes to where it doesn't weaken your eyes. I never crank down on my reel until my pole bends. When I'm setting it up to store it or to travel across the river or down the lake or transporting it, I just reel it until the line goes tight and keeps that hook firmly in place. I hook it where the barb is facing in towards the blank, and that keeps it from getting caught on stuff. And so that's how I do it, guys. I put that video out, a YouTube short out on that a long time ago, and it got pretty big. You know, I'd just rather have that sinker slapping the reel of my catfish pole than the reel on there than slapping the blank. I broke too many rods, and you just learn a little bit as you go if you go fishing almost every day, which it's been a while since I went fishing every day, but I went hard and heavy at the beginning of this year. Whoa. My little plastic cap came off there. And I like this rod sock, guys. It comes with that little bungee cord so you can bungee it around your fishing reel, so that way it's just, you know, it's on there. This one, I've got that Pin Warfare left-handed reel. The other one, I got the PC Funnel Lehos with braided line. See how that weights, that no roll sets it right in there. Usually I don't run that other style of sinker. Usually I run these no rolls because they set flat inside of your bait caster, and I really like that. So it doesn't really beat up on your fishing reel that bad if you're using this style of sinker. But yeah, I just wanted to play around with the braid. This reel doesn't really go on this rod, but Spencer from River Certified, he runs them like this. Me personally, I like this reel on another rod that I have, and so I'm going to keep running it on that. I just wanted to test the braid on the rod, so it's getting its reel back tomorrow. And anyhow, let's tie off this jig, and then we'll get on to tying another color. Yeah, they're pretty nice. They're costed a little chunk of change. I'm about to starve to death. I'm over here eating some, I got some chips under my desk. I just don't want to eat too many of them on camera and be all crunchy, but that's great if you don't know how to use a bait caster. I'm glad you got something that works for you. I remember when I was learning to fish too. And I'm just talking crap, of course. Trust me, buddy, I stepped up to having those Hellcats. I still fish with Walmart fishing gear just to prove that you can do it and still catch catfish. I just got lucky that I got a wife that loves me and wanted to know what I wanted for Father's Day. And that's what I wanted, so. It was a tough decision to make, honestly. It was a really tough decision to make. There are so many good companies out there making high-end rods. Yeah, my wife's a good one. Anyhow, there was a lot of tough decisions out there. There's a lot of good companies making good rods. I feel like I don't know what W-wife means. Is that win wife, or I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. And there was like Ripping Lips. There was Chasing Cats, which I actually met a guy that was with Chasing Cats. He's a guide. And he gave me a pack of 8/0 circle hooks. I may actually have them here with me right now. And I've still got to do some testing on them. I haven't really used them yet. I used them one time. I missed a fish, but I also missed a fish that day using J-hooks, so I won't blame it on the hook. And he's a guide, and he uses them, and they obviously work for him. And he probably wouldn't have gave them to me with his name on them if he didn't trust them to some extent. I'm sure they're right here somewhere. I just have like this little styrofoam cooler thing. I keep some extra fishing line in there. Just a little bit of extra fishing line in here. I know them circle hooks are in here somewhere. Well, there's another pack of crappie jigs. I got a bunch of packs of hooks in here and different stuff. But I cannot exactly find those circle hooks that he was talking about. Yeah, extra. Hey man, you never know, you might get spooled, or you know, it's always good to have more fishing line. I like to have a little bit of extra fishing line. I'm pretty high on the Berkley, the Trilene big game line. I like it a lot. It's done me well over for a long time. I've caught most every fish I've ever caught, catfish wise or snagging or anything like that, has been the Trilene big game. I'm trying to find out what kind of chenille I want to use on this. I don't know how that's going to look with that orange. I think that's going to look just fine. It's a little bit darker, but that's what we're looking for the muddy river we're going to be fishing this weekend. We want a little bit darker of a chenille, or darker bodied jig anyways. Yeah, I think this is going to look pretty good, guys. I'm really thinking that this is going to be the winner. This or the purple. We might throw a wild card and go ahead and use the pink one in the muddy river, just because I believe that the shad or the carp or whatever I'm using for bait that day is what's going to attract the catfish. But the cool thing is that there's giant stripers in this river too, and hybrids as well. And so what could happen is they come in because, you know, they smell a shad or whatever, they're chasing bait. Yeah, orange is Old Faithful. And they come in chasing bait or whatever, and they see this jig. Maybe they don't want a big bait that I'm throwing, so they'll eat this jig is the theory. We're going to put that theory to the test because we're already going to be fishing anyways. Last weekend I went live while I was fishing. I actually caught my first catfish, I do believe, ever on a live. If I can get this to cooperate with me. Like I said, it's a little bit harder to tie these bucktails with the whip finisher, because they don't have the same style of head as a jig, so it's a little bit more difficult. But that's all right. We will get it worked out. Now let's get some super glue on there. And the good thing is that they don't really have to be that pretty, but I'm pretty confident, guys, we're going to catch a lot of fish on these this weekend. Gonna kind of trim them up a little bit. I need my smaller scissors. I need to also get some more of these X-Acto knives to make it easier to clean this out. We're gonna tie up the rig after I'm done tying these jigs. Yeah, look at that, guys. Would you put that behind your catfish rig? We're gonna take these ones down. I'm sure they're dry by now. The pink ones we just got done tying. have some bags in this box. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and bag them up. I like to bag up all my catfish rigs too, guys, in that styrofoam box over here. I'll tie up, probably most of them are on my boat at this point, but let's see if I can dig some out. I know I can if I dig hard enough. Yeah, so see, I keep these rigged up like this. These are already all pre-rigged catfish rigs, and yeah, you can ask me a question about my vise. I keep these already rigged up, and I keep handfuls of them on my boat, so when I'm out there fishing, I don't even have to tie rigs. I just slap them on and we're ready to go. I appreciate that, Charles Phillips. But check that out, guys. Now I can just throw that in my box, that styrofoam box, because it goes with me when I go. Throw that over there. I keep stuff like this over there. Some 32nd ounce Crush 'em series jigs that I tie. Always keeping that in there, guys. I have hardly any use of my right hand. Sometimes hard to tie knots or even put bigger pieces of bait. I do think a vise would help me. Yeah, this vise isn't really that expensive. It's like probably, I believe it was like 75 or 80 bucks for just the vise. Or you can buy the kit. That's what I did, and I believe that was like $120 or $130, but it came with everything. It didn't come with the feathers like that I usually use to tie jigs. It came with some different kinds of feathers though. It came with bucktail. It came with thread. We've pretty much gone through that thread. What else did it come with? It came with some different chenilles and some different stuff. It definitely came with everything that you needed to get started tying jigs or flies that day. Heck yeah. We got you. I need to, I've been working on a website. I just haven't fully committed to it yet. I haven't published it or something. I don't know. It's already had clicks and views and stuff like that, and I don't know how because I haven't really, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but I set up a Shopify or whatever. But I really wanted to wait until after I do this this donation to the children's fishing tournament here in Oklahoma. I want to wait till that's over before I open my store, because I don't know how many more jigs I'm going to end up putting in their prizes. I've got this whole box of jigs that I've just tied on lives, and I'll probably, okay, Tennessee boy. I've got these monkey milk jigs. I've got these murder hornet jigs, some orange Crush 'em series jigs, and you know, I think I'm gonna put all of those into that for prizes, for more prizes for the kids to have. So we'll see. Then I'll open my store. But I want to tie catfish rigs. Are going to be in my store. Affordable catfish rigs. All of my stuff is going to be a little bit more affordable. Brother, just email me at ThatDamFishingGuy247@gmail.com. You order some jigs from me, and then let me know that it's you, and then I will. I want to throw you in some of these bucktails. Come on, there we go. ThatDamFishingGuy 247 at gmail.com. Well, that's another one, guys. So I want to get at least, we're going to tie a couple white ones just to imitate shad. We got 2 more of these ones to tie. There we go. Yeah, we're going to tie 2 more orange ones. That'll give us 4 of each color. We still got to tie 4 purple ones. And we'll probably tie just 2 white ones. The river's so muddy where I'm going, I don't know that the white ones are even going to be a feasible option, but we're going to tie 2 of them anyways. When we're getting this bucktail out, we're going for, like, when you squeeze it together, about the thickness of a number 2 pencil. So we're going like that, and then just trying to clip it off at a 90 to what we've got grabbed, so that way the hairs are not at a weird angle. You know, cut it flat. Looking at one of those ones I've got hanging up, I need to put a few wraps on it and then, like, try to move it around on the hook, make sure I got it centered good. I don't think it's going to matter in the style that I'm using it, but just for aesthetics, I think we should maybe twist it around a little bit. There we go. Maybe just pay just a tad bit more attention. What's the catfishing like where all you guys are from? Where I'm at right now, we're working with spawning conditions, and so the bite can be really sporadic. Some of the fish are just now moving on bed. They kind of go in, they don't all spawn at one time. But it does slow down the bite pretty drastically. I fished for about 12 or 13 hours the other day. And I'd get like 2 or 3 fish in a row, then I wouldn't get nothing for like an hour, hour and a half. And I literally just sat in the same spot all day. And fish like that. Which you guys, when you guys see it, it'll look like it's action-packed video, because the only telltale sign will be the position of the sun in the different clips. When you guys see it, it'll be condensed down to anywhere between 25 and 40 minutes. And so, but I really grinded it out for that 15 or 20 fish. I did end up catching some fun sizers, but it was a ordeal. And then I had the one giant fish that bit on nightcrawler and then broke me off on 4-pound test on a fishing with a Shimano Sienna. And I'm honestly, I'm gonna go fishing at that same spot, and I know that for video's sake I probably shouldn't. To keep it entertaining for the fans, I probably shouldn't. But at the same time, sometimes lightning does strike twice in the same place, and so I am trying to get back with that fish. I want to catch that freaking fish that broke me off. As dumb as that may sound, I want a do-over on that freaking battle. But this time I don't want to use 4-pound test. I want to use yeah, have you seen the short Charles Phillips Bowen? I wish that I could have had the camera up and aimed down more. And I might remake that short actually. I think on this editing software on the computer I can slow it down and maybe zoom it in. It was a giant catfish and I was not expecting that. It was like noon. Me and my daughter, we were on the boat. We were out fishing. It started getting like noon. It was hot outside. Thank you, Tennessee boy. And so it's getting freaking hot outside. We go pull the boat up on the bank in some slack water. And I reeled in some of my catfish poles, took some ultralights, put 84th ounce crawler or jig heads on there with little 1/2-inch pieces of crawler, and then just cast them out off the back of the boat. My daughter's laying down taking a nap. I'm laying down on the back of the boat, just looking around. And I look over at one of the fishing poles, and the freaking line is going upriver. And I got up, and I was like, it's probably a drum is what I thought. I got up, and I set the hook, and then it took off running. Then I thought it was a carp. But then it just kept running. I couldn't turn it. I couldn't slow it down. So I reeled in all of my other fishing poles, got the boat pushed out off the bank, got the camera rolling, and I fought that fish for 26 minutes before it finally, my line finally gave up on me. That's a day I'll never forget, guys. And it was on this line right here, as a matter of fact, the line I'm using to prop you guys up steady. This vicious 4-pound test line. I guess I order it in 3,000 yard spools. Oh, Fish Hunter, it was a doozy for sure. I put out a short on it. I posted the full video. I posted a short on it and then I posted the video because I thought just that 24 or 26 minutes was video worthy. Because I mean, it was a great fight. It was a great battle. We got to see the fish. Like I said, I need to get on my editor and re-put out a short where you can actually see what all I saw. When that catfish surfaced, he had a scar on his head and it was white and he was dark, you know, like that catfish was about to spawn. But I was telling my wife we're going to call that catfish Scar because it had a big scar on it. So I'll know if I ever catch that catfish. We'll know. And the ironic part of it is I had catfish baits casted out all around the boat. And yeah, I had catfish lines cast out all around the boat. Shad chunks and I think it was all shad that day. All shad, and then I had out 2 poles for bluegill. And he bit the bluegill pole. And that would be my luck. My wife immediately, I tell her about it and I send her a clip of it where the fish roll on the surface of the water. And she says, well, you need to switch to like 20-pound test fishing line for your perch poles. I'm slowly incorporating braid onto most of my reels because I've lost some big ones on the plastic line recently. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the Hellcats, they're about to be spooled up with braid. Now, I will tell you, I do believe that right below dams, I don't think that people should be fishing with braid that's heavier than 20-pound test, and I'll tell you why. Because if you get 9,000 pieces of line all below a dam, and you know how congested dams can be, and everybody's out there fishing with 80-pound test braid and everybody's breaking off, well, then you're just constantly like, there's one dam here in Oklahoma in particular, and I'm not going to say it out loud. It's a really popular dam, but it gets overran with, I didn't get enough super glue on there. That just rolled, and that would be an issue in the future. Anyhow, this particular dam, you can't hardly fish it. Like at the beginning of the year, it's pretty good when it gets blown out from the wintertime and nobody really fishing it. It gets pretty good. And I like personally fishing there in the wintertime. Yeah, I'll have to try out some vicious braid. But anyhow, this dam, there's so much braided line in the water. Sometimes you catch it and you snag it and you bring it in, and sometimes you catch it and it breaks you off. You get broke off on it. And so it's really frustrating that people that are fishing for hybrids and stripers below the dam are using braided fishing line that's bigger than 20-pound test. All the stripers and hybrids I've caught in Oklahoma, you didn't need more than 20-pound test, and that's kind of even overkill, really. The real deal fishing, thank you, I appreciate it. Now, the areas that I fish in and the heavy cover I fish in, I'm going to be running 100-pound test braid, but I'm also not going to be fishing right below the dam where there's 9,000 other people fishing. And the odds are is that I'll be fishing with a leader, and my leader's only 50-pound test, so I'll actually only be leaving about 2 foot of fishing line in the water. I just feel like that getting the 100-pound test braided line, I feel like it'll be more abrasion resistant than, 40-pound test braided line or 50-pound test, or, I've ran 125-pound test, or no, it was 150-pound test Power Pro braided line. And I didn't run it because of the number of the weight. I still ran, this is what I use for my leaders, guys. I use this Zebco line just for my leaders, strictly for the leaders, and I don't usually use 30 unless I'm channel catfishing. I usually use 50. Landed all my fish on that line, and it costs like $3 for a roll of that stuff, and it lasts forever using it for leaders. You just need to make sure to bring it inside and don't leave it on your boat. That's why all my fishing line's inside right now. If you let it sit outside in the heat, it's no good. It doesn't matter if it's in the shade or not. I bring my fishing line in the house. You don't have to, but it's better that way. Another good thing about braided fishing line is on the poles that I run braid on, I'll run it for 2 years. And like I'll use it all this year. And then you know how it gets faded out and stuff, but it's still really tough? I'll actually take all the line, I'll hit free spool, and I'll walk out, and I'll pull all the line off the reel. I'll cut it off, and then I'll take the old end, and I'll tie it on, and then I'll re-spool it backwards. Because, you never get to the bottom of the freaking spool. Like, I think this is 40-pound test braid on this one, and there's so much braided line on here. There's like a whole spool of Power Pro. I think it's like 250 yards of line. I never use 250 yards of freaking fishing line, and so I'll just pull it out and then turn it around and then use it the other half of it for next year. And so I get 2 years off of on a bait caster on a braided fishing line. On my open face poles or casting gear or whatever, if you're breaking off every now and then, it's a little bit more different than using a bait caster because you lose casting distance. I'll just have to get a reel and show you guys what I'm talking about. Like, your line, when it comes off the reel on an open face, it comes off like this. This is your spool. It comes off like this. So the deeper it is to your spool, the more resistance it has coming around that lip of your spool. So your casting distance gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. So the closer you are within a manageable, reasonable amount, the closer you are to the edge of this lip, the further you'll be able to cast. So on your spinning gear, I recommend probably changing out your braid probably at least once a year. But let's move on to tying these purple ones. I hope we have enough to tie 4 of them. It's actually purple and black, which I kind of like, so. Did we tie 4 of those? We sure did. We sure did. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it pretty good. I hope this ends up being the deal here in Oklahoma. I'll be pretty excited to fish with these more regularly if it ends up being a pretty good success. Like I said, Justin helped me out a lot when I was first starting my YouTube channel, which a bunch of you guys probably don't know that. And some of you might if you actually watched his lives. When he used to do live streams all the time, I'd ask him to shout me out, and he would shout me out. And I bet that at least 200 of my subscribers were people that subscribed to my channel because of Justin with Kayak Catfish. And so he's a pretty cool dude. And so I don't think that he would lie, but he said that 5 out of 7 catfish he caught them on the stalker rig. And so I have a lot of confidence that we're going to go out this weekend and probably demolish some catfish on this rig. Like I said, we're not doing a direct copycat, but their bait stalker rig is kind of a direct copycat because bucktails have been out for 100 years. We're just tying our version of it as he did his. Or Catfish Sumo did theirs, rather. And the only reason ours is different is because we're adding this chenille to the neck. I haven't ever seen a bucktail tied like that. But I always just want my stuff to be just a little bit different. Are you related to MGK? No. My summer is going great. Summer is going good. About to get better in about 2 or 3 weeks. You guys, there's another river that I'm gonna fish that has skipjack in it here pretty quick, within the next month or so. I may actually wait till it starts to cool down. So maybe, I don't know, October-ish. Got that purple in there. That's gonna look pretty sick. Let's get these orange ones off here. They're done drying by now. We're gonna go ahead and bag these up. You guys, if you haven't already and you're new here, please consider subscribing. Normally we're not tying these, but we're probably going to start tying them pretty regularly. Yeah, look at that, guys. Ready for testing. We'll hang this one up. We're going to try to get a little bit more hair. I tried to go sparingly on that one because I don't have that much of the purple and I want to make 4 of these stalker jigs, but if we had 3 that were great, would be better than having 4 that were mediocre. So Let's see if that makes a difference. This thread, it fits right through the eye of that hook. There's just enough gap there for the thread to slide through, and I was wondering if I could build it up with thread and stop it from falling through there, but I don't think it really matters because we're super gluing it, but just thought I'd give it a try. Yeah, let's make this one a little bit thicker. I think we're still gonna have enough to pull off 4. Crap. There we go. Looking pretty even on that side. Yep, looking pretty good. I feel like this shiny chenille being down at the bottom of the river, if there's like any light penetration, might give off some extra shimmer and it may help. I don't know. This is all just one big experiment. We'll figure it out together. A big fly fisherman. Well, what do you think about these catfish flies? You can actually take, and they sell these bucktails that are similar to this, just like the bait stalker jigs, and they sell them at Woody's over in by a dam around here. There's a couple Woody's. Anyway, you put your sinker on the bottom, and then you tie a dropper loop, which we talked about yesterday or the day before. You tie a dropper loop on there, and you put this bucktail jig on there. We're just gonna have to do it real quick. It'd be quicker to do it and show you guys, and you'll know how to do it. For the sakes of the video, we're gonna tie a quick dropper loop, not a proper dropper loop. You tie you a loop like this, big enough that you can pass a 2 to 3 ounce sinker. You need 1, 2, and 3 ounce sinkers for doing this method. Because you don't know, depending on the flow, how high up the river is, all that stuff's a variable in this. Anyway, so you can quickly attach a sinker that I don't have handy right here. So you put that through like the eye of a sinker, and then you put it on this loop. Anyway, up about a foot above that, and you're gonna have to play with this too. It could be 1.5 feet, it could be 2 foot, it could be 3 foot. Depends how high the fish are riding in the water column that day, which also varies on how high the bait fish are running in the water column that day. So you're gonna tie this simple overhand knot, and then to make your bait go, see how it's facing down right now? Well, that's the way your sinker would be. Your sinker would be down at the bottom of that. So when it puts weight on it, it makes your jig want to go down. You tie it on the part that goes up, and it makes it stand up a little bit more. Now, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be in the current anyways. But you take and you put on your bucktail, put the line through there, through the front of the eye, come around like that, like this. So it looks something like that. So now you got a sinker down here, you got a swivel at the top, and you got a bucktail in the middle. You can actually run 2 of these bucktails. A lot of people do it that way. When you cast this out, if the river's going this way and you're standing, you're facing this way, and the river's flowing this way, do not cast upriver. You'll get snagged up 99% of the time, and you'll lose your rig. Cast out parallel, straight parallel to you, and then hold your rod tip up high. Braid is a must. You want to fill everything. And 10-foot fishing rod, at least a 10-foot fishing rod. 12 foot's better, 10 foot will get you by. You cast it out there, you hold the rod tip up high, and as soon as you cast, you reel up the slack, because you know there'll be a big old bow in the line, big old slack. You reel that slack up before that sinker ever starts falling and hits the bottom, because you want to be in contact with that sinker. You want to feel the resistance of that sinker before it hits the bottom. And you're going to let it go down, and that sinker's going to make contact with the bottom, and you're going to feel it rolling along the bottom of the river. And every now and then you just pop it up and let it hop, and you skip it over rocks and stuff. And then when it gets down parallel to the bank, you just reel it back in, cast out again across the river, and you keep repeating that with these bucktails, and you'll catch all kinds of freaking hybrids, stripers, white bass, blue cats, flatheads. You don't even have to use bucktails. You can honestly use James Willis. That looks good, and I am big into big catfish man too. Yeah, catfish are freaking fun, man. I do a little bit of trout fishing on accident sometimes. Honestly, we go to Branson every now and then, and there's like a Table Rock Lake up there. And every time I go up there, I go trout fishing for a couple hours or half a day or something. Actually, I just fish for whatever, but I go trout fishing up there. I try to go there to target trout. They do stock them here where I live at, and I did actually catch a big one this year. But I was fishing for crappie, so I don't know if that counts or not. And it was also my first time ever eating a trout. Oklahoma. I'm in the Tulsa area. But we have stalker trout here, and I've heard horror stories about like stalker trout or got weird meat or something like that. I don't really know. And so anyway, I always just never really wanted to try them. And then this year, my daughter, I was reeling that fish in, and she's like, I want to eat it, I want to eat it, I want to eat it, or can we eat it, or whatever. And so we did. And it was good. I liked it. So we'll probably be, now that I know that I like to eat it and stuff like that, and that was actually the first big trout I ever caught was a stalker trout. And it was about 2.5 pounds, which I know trout get a lot bigger than that, but for my area and the trout that I've caught, that was the biggest one I ever caught. It was the biggest one I've actually ever seen in person, outside of Bass Pro Shop. Anyways, it tasted really great, and so I'll probably be taking advantage of them, stocking them in the local city ponds around here. Let's see, we only got 2 of those tied so far. We need to shut up and tie some more jigs. Yeah, I actually want to try trout for catfish bait in that pond, in the city pond. It has some giant catfish in there. Fly red and orange. Yeah. Barbless hook or what size hook? But not tonight though. This live is almost over. I still have chores to do. We're running on a little bit late. Usually I like to run my lives for about an hour. If you catch us tomorrow and you remind me, and you also tell me what kind of fly you want me to tie, like what pattern. Oh, can I make a red and orange? I don't know if you were here earlier, but this is like maroon and orange. Are you talking about for catfish? Are you talking about the same style I'm doing now, like these bucktails? That's like a maroon and orange. I have red chenille somewhere. But like I said, I really got to tie these last 2 purple jigs, and then I'm gonna have to tie the white ones off camera because I've got chores I gotta do around the house. I got 3 kids and we're running on 70 minutes, guys. Gots to do my chores, and I need to eat dinner and stop snacking on these chips. I'm about to starve to death. About to starve to death. How you are? Well, I'm still starving to death, so hurry up. All right. Let's see, that's 3. 1 more of these guys. We're gonna add some super glue to this one and then hang it out to dry. What are you doing, Bam Bam?
I'm bored.
You're bored?
I came to get my toy car.
Oh, okay.
Even though it doesn't even have a head because I lost the head.
What?
Corley wrote my name on my car and my YouTube channel.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, the YouTube channel messed up, but okay. What's your channel? Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was asking.
Yeah. I'm gonna write your channel down in... Michael, I'm writing your channel.
Orange and red.
Michael, I'm gonna write your channel on my car.
Okay, baby. Let's see. This one's gonna have a little bit more black to it. And that's the end of that one. Yes, I can tie one, but like I said, it will be tomorrow because I have to track down the red chenille. And I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I done clipped the bucktail and I haven't even got the thread started. The base layer of thread started. But I will tie that color, but it'll just have to be tomorrow because I'm gonna tie this one and then I am hopping off here because I still have chores to do. Yeah, I'll just tie one just cause you suggested the color. I don't mind just tying one, and then we'll try it out and see if it's a good color to tie. Maybe it's a, you know, maybe that suggestion will be the one that catches me a big fish or something. So yeah, we'll tie it. I don't mind tying suggested colors.
What does that mean?
It means that I'll tie jigs that other people suggest. It means when someone else gives you an idea,
and what?
It means when someone else gives you an idea to go along with something you're already doing or something you're already thinking about, or, you know, suggestion, gives you direction.
My strongest color of this car is...
All right, we're done with that. What, baby?
I said the strongest color, the strongest color that I have is blue.
If you have a cat and you have bucktail, always put it in something that zips up, or you can, they'll play with feathers and stuff, but they'll straight up rob you of bucktail for sure. That color's good. I always like orange. I like orange and black. This is my Crush 'em series crappie jig. It's got a black undercoat, and when these feathers get wet, the black really stands out and it kind of highlights the orange. And let's see. And I always am carrying these around all the way down to an 1/84 of an ounce. Here's my Crush 'em series on a pillhead style jig. And yeah. Orange in the waters I fish in is money because it's muddy. In Oklahoma, it's always muddy. If it's not from the wind, it's from the floods. If it's not from the floods, it's from God knows what. Them building a bridge or something. Something's always happening here. It seems like all the water's always muddy. We get a couple months of cleaner water in the summertime when it's not flooding or the lake's not turning over, or we have a few months where we get water clarity that's visible past a foot. Most of the time we're fishing chocolate milk.
We have the pool open now, and I went swimming today.
And that's news from Cambry today. What is the kind of crappie jig I use when crappie are spawning? Well, light ones. I like light jigs because I feel like they get tangled up less. Like 1/84 and 1/64 ounce jigs. But really when they're spawning and they're shallow, if they're on the nest, like if I'm fishing in weeds that are like the lakes I fish in around here, they have like, I don't know what kind of weeds it is. Like, it's not hydrilla. It's a leafy plant. But anyways, it'll be like 1.5 feet deep, and I'll dip jigs down between there and pull them out of there, pull crappie out of there. And just dark colored jigs, orange, purple, black. I like this black and yellow, mostly orange. But anyways, hey guys, it's been a great live. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I will catch you guys.